day 6 of Carl's Emergence flagging disaster. Has it been raining all day? Yes. Am I excited about going out in the mud to flag the worst emerging corn I've ever seen? No. Am I going to do it? Yes.
Hey there, thanks for turning down my road. If this is your first time here, my name's Carl. My little brother and I both work for local farmers full time, but we both also farm together with our cattle herd and our hay operation. If you don't have the joy of farming yourself, I'd love to help you experience it through this channel. Whatever your background, you found the right place. This is Dodge Brothers Farm and Ranch.
Time to pull in and check my Emergence flagging plot. Guys, I gotta be honest, this is not going well. Can you see the weather right now? It is gray, cloudy. This is the weather we've had for like the last 4, 5, 6 days. Just as this corn was trying to get ready to poke through the ground, it all of a sudden got really cold on us. It's been in the 50s a lot. No sun. This is a complete Emergence disaster. So the green flags represent the corn that came up on the first day that I saw some up. This row only had one up on day 1. It had a few up on day 2. It had a couple. Look at these. Here's the blue flags. But look at how small this one is that was up on day 2. That's been 2 days ago. This one that came up yesterday is almost bigger than this one that came up the day before. When you look at this one here that was up yesterday, it's barely up still today. Here's another one that was up yesterday. Oh man, this is bad. See, here's a new one today. I can put a red flag by this one. So what I was supposed to do was I was supposed to come back and do my 4th day of flagging a week later. But I'm hoping after a week later it will all be up, and I actually want to kind of track the progress of this coming up all the way through. So what I think I'm going to have to do is either buy some more flags with some different colors, or maybe I'm going to mark some of these flags differently and start cycling through the colors again. Let's see if we have any more. This row over here had 1, 2 up on the first day, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up on the second day, 1, 2, 3, 4 up on the third day, 1 up on the 4th day. There's that red one. This row only had 1 up on day 1, and look at here. So look at, I'm on day I'm currently on day 3 marking this row because it started a day later than this row did. So if you look at the day 1 plant right here, day 2 and day 3 right there, there's a little difference, but they are not growing quickly at all. One of the things that happened in this field, there was a lot of trash on top, and the row cleaners did a good job of cleaning the row, but we had that day where the wind blew 40 miles an hour while we were planting beans, and it blew the rows full of trash again. And I have a feeling that that is resulting in some uneven temperatures in the soil in the furrow here. I don't want to interfere with the emergence process because that wouldn't be scientific, because I can't be out here on every row scraping trash away trying to help the corn emerge. But man, this is frustrating. Okay, here's one. I almost missed it. See it right there? That's emerged. I visibly see him. Flag it. Here's another one. Flag it. So 4 days into the flagging experiment, and I'm still less than a third emerged. This is bad. We need some heat. Hello and welcome to day 6 of Carl's Emergence flagging disaster. Since there's only 4 colors of flags and I want to track what's happening here every day until they're all up, I've started recycling the next color by cutting the flag in half. So day 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the cut in half day 1 flag is going to be day 5. I've got a couple of cut in half day 2 flags over there that is day 6, etc., etc. So today it's actually raining when I'm out here to do my flagging. So this is fun. Hooray, science! So the Emergence disaster continues. Here's the half yellow. That's what we're doing today. I'm cutting flags in half now so that I can have twice as many colors, essentially. Oh boy, my oh my, this is not good, boys and girls. Welcome to day, I honestly don't even know what, of flagging corn in this field. Today I'm flagging with cut off red flags. So here's one here that came up today. Here's one right here. You can barely see it, but he's up. And so that's a day 8. Let's face it, you're tired of watching me flag plants. I'm tired of flagging plants. After 12 days, I finally gave up. I went out with an agronomist, did some digging, and we figured out what happened in this field. It really wasn't the trash blowing back into the rows. It really wasn't furrows drying out. It was the hybrid. I mean, what are the odds that the one field that I picked, the one part of the field that I picked from the beginning of the year to do this flag trial on, we ended up having a hybrid that just didn't come up the way it should. Something is wrong, who knows what, but this is a picture I took standing right in the middle of this field, facing opposite directions. This picture right here is the hybrid that I have my flagging trial on. Turning around, this is the other hybrid in that same field, and you can just see a big difference in how this corn came up. Super disappointing that the one is the way it is. I mean, these two hybrids were planted exactly the same, the exact same time, the same depth, literally one pass to the next. We just ran out of the one seed and filled it with the next kind of seed. There's nothing different about the way we treated this field. It's just one variety came up and the next one didn't come up very good at all. Definitely going to look into that with the company that we bought the seed from, but a real disappointment nonetheless. I shouldn't have put all my eggs in one basket on this flagging trial. This just happens to be the very last field that was coming up. All of our other corn is actually already up. In fact, most of the other fields would have been a really boring flagging trial. It would have been all green flags with some blue flags and nothing else. Wouldn't have been much to learn. We're definitely going to learn what it looks like to have late emerging corn and what that effect is throughout the rest of the season and yield at harvest time. But I wanted to have something nice to compare it to, and unfortunately I don't. That's the way it goes. But here's a cool thing that we did to learn something on the corn that did come up pretty well. We did what's called a pogo test, and if you don't know what that is, check it out. So we're here with Sean and Blake from Precision Planting, and we are going to be doing some pogoing today. I mean, what is this contraption?
So this is what we call a pogo, and we can walk through the field, and we have a tape measure on here, so it's actively measuring as we move it, and we line up with each plant, and then we can click whether it's a good plant, late emerging 1-leaf collar, 2-leaf collar, and a no germ. And that's going to help us determine ear potential, spacing, singulation, and overall planter performance. And that gives us a good way to check different products like furrow force we checked today against poly twisters and different products that we have. It's all controlled through an iPad.
Pretty darn cool.
Financial impact was $68 an acre and 93% ear potential compared to 82 there.
And like, what was it, 170 some dollars on the last row?
Yeah, 178 I think.
So $110 difference?
$10 difference.
Unfortunately, it was just way too windy that day to have a good conversation on camera out in the field while we were doing this. I just thought this tool was really cool. It's a really good way to put your performance into dollars and cents per acre. Blake's down on the ground doing a lot of digging. You might wonder what he's doing. He's actually looking for spots in the row where there's a plant missing, and he's trying to determine whether the planter actually skipped a seed or whether there's a seed there that didn't germinate. In a lot of cases, we actually were able to find a seed that was planted at the proper depth and for whatever reason just didn't germinate. You know, overall, I was just really happy with what we found out here in terms of stand. The spacing was really pretty good. The singulation was really impressive. Like I said, we did find a few non-germinating seeds here and there, but even those seeds were planted at the exact depth we were trying to plant at. Just really, really happy with how things went, how the planter worked. It is amazing though, when you start putting dollars and cents on it, these little plants like this one right here that came up just 2 or 3 days late really do cost you. And the downforce is such an important issue. Check this out. So one of the things I always talk about when I'm planting is the downforce and how important it is to always keep those gauge wheels on the ground. Here's a spot out in the middle of the field that I purposely turned the downforce way down, lost ground contact here and there with the gauge wheels. Your planting depth is not consistent, and here's what we found. Okay, so here's the report from that spot in the field where we didn't have enough downforce to keep it in the ground. If you look at the pie chart for the emergence there, we had 32 good plants, 4 plants 1 leaf collar behind, and 5 plants at least 2 leaf collars behind. So if we slide down to the bottom left-hand corner here, the number you want to look at is that financial impact. We lost out on $171.28 per acre of income potential because of those late emerging plants that were caused by improper downforce. So now if we look at the proper downforce, we had 34 good plants, only 1 late emerger, and then there were actually 2 seeds in this test that didn't germinate. Now that probably had nothing to do with the planter. Most likely it was bad seed. But even with those 2 non-germinating seeds thrown into this test, the financial impact was only $68.78. So over $100 difference between these 2 tests. Now, I've always said that the downforce was critical, and it's super important to have uniform depth and really important to keep your gauge wheels on the ground, but I'm not sure I would have even guessed that it was going to be over $100 per acre. That was crazy. That was really cool, though. That was a fun test to do. Real world data, real dollars and cents. It's going to be interesting when we get out there with the combine and see if that actually matches up with what the pogo said. That'll be really fun. We're going to get out and do a little more pogoing in the next couple weeks whenever our schedule and the weather permits to get together and do that. I want to capture a bunch of data on the furrow force versus the Yetter poly twisters on the closing system. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been kind of intense. There's been a lot of data, a lot of testing, and a lot of scientific kind of stuff going on. But I know a lot of you really dig that. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I'm excited to hear from you and talk to you about what you're seeing and what you like and what you want to see out of the rest of this growing season. Thanks for riding along. I'll see you next time.